All right, fans, let's meet the starting lineup for the Losing Last Day Coyotes. First up, the first team player, number 5, over 2. A third player from Third Falls, number 7, Mia Larche. A first team player out of Cascades, Ontario, number 8, Zoe Ormsby. A second year player out of Ottawa, Ontario, number 11, Camila Kubali. A fourth year player out of Atlantic, Ontario, number 12, Oceana Crossery. A second year player out of St. Catherine, Mons, Quebec, number 14, Camille Brown. And a second year player out of Landry Office in Brunswick, number 16, Janelle Landry. The head coach of the Last Day Coyotes is David Mann. All right, fans, it is time to meet your starting lineup for the Loyalist Lancers. First up, a fifth-year player from Pickering, number 1, Jamie Edwards. Next, a first-year player from Brooklyn, number 2, Kayla Hyde. A fourth-year player out of National Tier, number 4, Taylor Baker. A second-year player from William Tier, number 6, Cody Pallister. A first-year player from Brooklyn, number 11, Caitlin Burns. A first-year player from Concord, number 11, Isabel Baker. And finally, a third-year player, number 13, Pat Taylor. The head coach of the Loyalist is 17-year-old player, Jesse Beckmore.
Welcome on inside Loyalist College, the Lancer Dome aptly named, as we have two teams kicking off today in the visiting Cite Coyotes and the hometown Loyalist Lancers. My name's Stephen Schill alongside Dylan Ranarine. And yesterday for Loyalist, it was a heartbreaking 5-game set where they ultimately ended up falling just a little bit short against Algonquin, wanting to try to finish off the year strong. Still one more game to go for these ladies beyond it today, but Loyalist going in this one at 2-11 and Cite sitting at 1-12. So both teams kind of floating around at the bottom of the league, but really trying to set their sights on next season. And obviously in the OCAA, depending on every athlete's programs, what they decide to do is career choices and whatnot. A couple of these teams will look absolutely different than what they do today. But Cite is going to kick things off for us. Mia Larche. Serves good. Going to be Baker. Routledge sets Cudmore. Trying to get things started early and off the tip. They give it over to Cite.
As you did mention for us, Steve, both teams sitting a little bit lower down in this bracket. So we saw the Lancers put up a great game yesterday up against Algonquin, bringing it out to 5 sets, odds that nobody expected. So we're going to see less experimentation with the line and essentially more practice with everybody in the same position as they had them yesterday. And we'll see what the Lancers can do. So,
and they called a violation against Cite before the play fully transpired. And the point a moment ago, thought it went off a tip for the Coyotes, but looked like that wasn't the case. So Cite picked up the first points, and then Loyalist responded. And Loyalist to pick up another.
Cudmore up to the line. We saw some great serves from Cudmore yesterday. A lot of aces. We'll see if they are able to keep that same.
And back-to-back, Cite dropping some points. Going to go straight back to the side of Loyalist and a quick put down from Jada Ides.
Ides in her rookie season put up an outstanding game yesterday. Played majority of the game.
They go down the middle. They're able to take it this time around. Ormandy sets. Routledge. Cudmore. And Cudmore with the kill early on. And that's something we have to watch with the Lancers, is getting their attacking players, getting those points early, feeling confident. Yesterday was all about the energy. See how fast it charges up. Ormandy looking to set. Again on the option on Larche. And they'll get it. Camilla Furnell. Or the number 14 in white. Baker. Rowledge. Goes to Byrne. The block on the other side is there for Janelle Landry.
Landry, rookie year. We saw the girls come out here last year, Halloween weekend. And the Lancers were able to take that win.
It was Camilla Furnell. This is on the serve.
Here's Caitlin Byrne up to the line.
Tokarski. Ormandy sets the close side, and Rio. The Lancers, opportunity. Isabella Baker off the block. Serves high and wide.
And in comes Baker as Byrne is going to leave the lineup.
Laudry. Cudmore. Baker, kind of a wonky set to the other Baker, who puts it too far. Laudry again. Cudmore. Rowledge having a fight at the net. Gets that first tap, but kind of just goes off her hand and drops too low for anyone else to be able to play. Good awareness on that front line of La Cite. Cudmore. First touch is a bit low for Rowledge to work with. Those Loyalists looked like they were walking away with a bigger lead.
Yeah, Cudmore there with the attempted save. Just not able to get there in time. It's unfortunate.
Come back now tied. Rowledge was talking with the referee, but then Laudry, I guess didn't see that. Cudmore able to take that one. Rowledge back to Ides. You fight at the middle of the net. Popped up. La Cite keeping it alive. Laudry over. Rowledge going to go on to Pallister.
Here's Ides up to the line.
Ormandy, as I said, it's too close to the net for Rio to do anything. So Loyalists will get a freebie.
Switching things up a little bit different than yesterday. We see Crawford in here for Verbruggen on the left side.
Ides on the serve. Rio. Ormandy goes behind. Light tap over from Larche. Loyalists looking to work with it. Going to be Cudmore. Larche sets to Rio.
And it's out.
Ormandy just going to tap it over. Ides puts a ball that was quite good, but
put it a bit out. Didn't get in the direction
Yeah,
I guess she was hoping it would go. And Crawford tried to come and save it. And
Yeah,
got stuck on her.
I think the walkover from Crawford just kind of try to pivot around instead of walking over. That's probably just not going to work unless you can fully hop over Ides. But either way, Loyalist picks up another point.
It's a missed serve from Ormandy. We'll send Baker over to the line.
Ormandy down the middle. Going to go to Koulibaly and puts it into the net. And again, it just feels like a couple of these sets on La Cite side are not falling where they want.
Camila Koulibaly in practice, unable to really get some power on those spikes. And
diving in from Rio. Gets over Larche with a good hit. Going to be Cudmore's time to respond. Taps it over. Popped over from Koulibaly. Diving effort from Tokarski. And another diving effort from Ormandy, and they just can't come up with it.
Yeah, the Coyotes they've got quite a bit of miscoordination about who's responsible for what area, and when the play goes on for a little bit of a rally, they're just not able to get there. Anyways, they're going to call a timeout now, and we'll see you back after that. And we'll come back from the timeout here. La Cite having a bit of a coordination meeting there as the Lancer Dome was going to take their first point off of the timeout call.
And again, La Cite obviously on a double travel day, playing back-to-back here, as is Loyalist, and maybe just some about finding their footing, which we saw with Algonquin, I believe, yesterday. Loyalist took the first set as well, and then Algonquin was able to save that comeback. And credit the points to Larche.
I mean, one thing that we did mention and saw a lot of points taken off too was just to the low height of the ceiling and the rafters. And noting something down in practice, I saw La Cite definitely shooken up by the ceiling height of the Lancer Dome.
And Elizabeth Ryu gets the ace. In yesterday's game here for the Loyalist and Algonquin series, really, there was a couple of crazy calls and things that I haven't seen before. So we'll see what this match has in store for us. As another ace comes through as Crawford just ducks under that one. Not sure what was going on there. I guess just the angle of it. Thought it was going to take not as much of a spin downwards that it did.
Looks like she was hoping for one of her middles there to grab that one, but the ball fell right on the seam, and they weren't able to decide whose possession that was. So,
and Rio misses the serve, so that'll bring up Pallister.
Pallister didn't serve much yesterday, and when she did, she made it count. Great and consistent serves from her. We'll see if she can keep it up, and she does.
Ormandy, Furnell, Chloe Pallister gives it straight back. Their effort they're trying to work with, it'll be Furnell on a kind of an awkward angle, taking a swing and just places it into the net.
We sit 17-11. Pallister returns to the line. Beautiful serve.
A one-handed set there from Ormandy. As Crawford swings on it, hits the block. Cudmore, an opportunity. And both teams are just firing it straight back to each other. As Crawford goes to the back corner as Ormandy saw that Rio was going for it, but Rio just a little bit too far behind the reach.
Long hit there from Crawford, aiming for that back right corner. is not able to get that.
They come down the middle. Burnell again. Ides is able to play it. Crawford, the jump over Ides this time, making it work. Larche was off the block, and Cudmore stuffs it. We'll see another timeout from the La Cite Coyotes and David Mann.
Here come the Coyotes, refreshed and ready. Taking another serve from Chloe Pallister, and that one's going to go wide. She'll keep that pattern up that we saw yesterday of the 2 serves and then a missed serve from the Lancers.
And Camilla Sauvé will come in to serve for Camilla Koulibaly.
Koulibaly having some trouble getting the power that she needs behind her serves and behind her kill attempts.
Cudmore sends it straight back again. We've seen just the strength of both teams sending it back to either side as a little bit of a roll off the net from Larche comes out on top.
And in Algonquin, we definitely saw a lot more lineup changes. They definitely have a lot more options with a bigger roster. Today, the rosters are pretty even. We've got 12 for the Lancers, 11 for the La Cite Coyotes.
Sauvé's able to get that second serve. Going to go to Byrne. As the referee takes a duck on the bounce. It's in. So we'll see Verbruggen check in. We'll also have a change on the libero front. It'll be Jasmine Lazard.
Jasmine Lazard, not a lot of playtime yesterday. Be interesting to see what she adds to the team. And obviously this is one of those games where the Lancers
Ormady sits behind. It's Larche.
where the Lancers have proved such dominance that they're able to bring in new players, they're able to bring in and change up their lineups because they have some of that freedom. Very dominant start here for the Lancers in the first set. We sit 21-13. It'll be Routledge over the line.
He popped up from Tokarski. And now close call on the net. He's able to get it over. It's Furnell. That left-hand touch. Again, for the attacking side of La Cite, it is not getting too many opportunities to fully swing, which isn't necessarily a problem as they're still capitalizing on a couple of these points. With these second touches, to be a little bit crisper. Larche and a deep serve that Baker, while running, maybe needed to plant her feet just a little bit more, and it rolls off.
In comes Verbruggen. As I mentioned, haven't seen her on the court today. I believe she just came in a few plays ago. And we've had a little bit of a delayed game here. So the ref has a quick side chat. Here's Larche again. Up to Cudmore. Routledge. There's Verbruggen trying to tip it over. It's saved by Byrne. Verbruggen again. Larche. Up goes Baker, Routledge. There's Cudmore. And it doesn't go, and Baker and Routledge getting into a little bit of a collision there. Trying to mend that play. Does not go their way. Coyotes have 16 as Larche returns to the serve line.
She's been going at it for quite a minute.
Great serves from her. Super consistent. Landing exactly where she wants them, right there in that middle early range. Not too far back.
Bruggen changed up instead of a big swing. Well,
There's
Cudmore afterwards
Cudmore.
comes through.
Wow.
And that's something, again, after you get blocked the first time, you want to change things up a little bit, and that's what Verbruggen did there, and Cudmore right behind to make it count. 3 points away from Loyalist taking the first set.
Cudmore sends it right into the net. And we'll see the defensive libero come in, Taylor Baker. Jasmine Lazard, of course, getting to play on the offensive side.
Baker on that first touch up to Routledge. It's going to be Byrne off the block. I would just say that it went out. Didn't see the right angle of that. The block was given by Rio.
There's Chichi. Ekpalibe in. Take some serves. We saw this happen quite a few times last game. Chichi coming in to give some serves. She'll send that one into the net, so Loyalist will move to the defensive side. So in comes Taylor Baker as Chichi returns to the bench. Pallister's back in now as Byrne moves out.
And Camilla Koulibaly also in for the Coyotes. The serve comes through from Larche, and we've had, I think, 3 missed serves back-to-back.
Quite a few points for both teams, the men's and the women's. Yesterday we saw from purely missed serves.
Set point for Loyalist, and another missed serve.
For Bruggen, just a bit too much power. Bit of a lob. Goes right outside. The Lancers sit at 24. Coyotes have come back up to 19.
Mandy. Cudmore on the first touch, going to be Routledge. Sets up Pallister. Tokarski keeping it alive, and ultimately Rio ends up at the point for the Coyotes. And again, it looked like Loyalist had such a lead, and we're continuously seeing this pattern out of the first set where Loyalist gets a huge lead, and then Cite just closing the gap.
Like I said, you have a little bit of wiggle room, but only to a certain degree, and with 4 points above, 1 away from winning, and they're going to call that in, and their Lancers will take the set. So they're finally able to round that out. So we'll go on a little short break here, and we'll see you back. We sit 1-0 in this Lancers volleyball game. And we're about to kick off our second set here of this Loyalist Lancers volleyball game. Jamie Routledge will be our first to serve. Routledge. Routledge with an ace. What a great way to start off the first game, build up some morale, to be dominant once again.
First touch from Mario. Looking on the far side for Nell. Baker, Routledge, Byrne. Cite stays with it for Nell. Baker, Routledge. Hides. It's an over the block. Nice little cartwheel or spin there from the backside of Cite in Rio, but just can't get enough height on that dive. Point Loyalist.
Routledge, third serve in a row, and it's good.
Pekarski sets that up to Furnell.
And that one's heading right out. The Lancers move up to 3-0.
Furnell. Ormandy. Off the Lancer block. Hides. Sets Cudmore. Too far to the left.
Larche returns to the line. Saw some amazing serves from Larche in this first set. See if she'll be able to keep it up. She does. Straight to the back, Isabella Baker. There's Cudmore. Bring it over the net. And the Lancers know it's out. So they'll take a point. And we'll see Cudmore back to the line. Cudmore, unfortunately, messing up the first serve. Big opportunity they had this game.
And gets an ace.
And there's the redemption off of Cudmore.
Pekarski. Ormandy sets that to the back line, and Larche, and it's blocked.
Charles Cudmore just a tad bit too wide or long. He's going to send number 14 for Nell. Awesome serve. Cudmore picks it up. There's Routledge. Baker. Kill attempt and it's kicked up. Back over. Here's Cudmore. Routledge. Caitlin Byrne. Cudmore again. Routledge. There's Ides. Ides for the kill. Amazing.
We're sort of in a situation similar to the first set where Loyalist has that commanding lead and Cite creeps back. They'll get 1 point off the miss.
Caitlin Byrne switches out of this game. In comes Taylor Baker. At the line, it's Laundry.
Routledge puts it up to Palliser. The block is there. Palliser gets the right arm on it to Baker. Hits the block again. They're going to have to fight for it. He's setting it back to Larche. Cudmore calls for it over Routledge. Routledge will now take over to Baker.
Baker. Great spike. Too much power. Here's Ladry again. There's Baker. Up to Rutledge. Isabella Baker on fire. Isabella Baker, rookie season in the OCAA.
Lines on the serve and falling back for it. Let's give it to the side of Loyalist, where Rutledge has to jump and fist that into the air. Vernell is off a kill on the side of La Cite. Count it to Rio. And this is an interesting shakeup, where Rutledge will come out, Crawford will come in, and that, I believe, will mean that Jada Ides will become the setter for Loyalist for the time being. Ormandy to Cudmore. Ides sets up Baker off the block.
Isabella Baker making it look easy.
And Ides super pumped after that first set.
And it's crazy that, you know, two of them here, Ides and Baker, in their rookie season. On your starting lineup, on your main lineup. A lot of playtime.
Larche misses the placement on the hit. Loyalist will go up double. Ormandy, Larche, Baker, Cudmore.
Great save from Cudmore.
Tokarski. Ormandy sets up down the middle to Koulibaly.
Man. Great work from La Cite there, just identifying those seams. He'll send the ball directly, but they're going to find some issue for the Lancer side. Number 5 on the serve. That's Ryu.
Crawford with a knuckle just getting it over. Larche gets it. Hyde sets Cudmore. Going to be a fight at the net. Another fist comes through. There's Crawford trying to reset to Cudmore. It's it over the block. They just dump it over to the side of Loyalist. Ides in the back line to Baker. And off the block. Nice little rally.
And she's just waiting. What a performance from Isabella Baker in this first set.
Tokarski. Ormandy. Vernell gets it.
Roll off the net, went right over Crawford's head, and fortunately, Ides is not able to get there behind her in time.
Cudmore gets set.
Charles Cudmore.
I mean, Loyalist is just looking so strong with every play they're doing. You don't necessarily see them as hyped up and energized per se, but I think the execution of everything they're doing is on point thus far.
And we're seeing that 2-in, 2-out rotation that we saw from the Lancers yesterday that worked so well against Algonquin. And obviously we know the Lancers women's team here has been changing up game per game, trying to find the right thing that works for them, and it looks like they might have.
Verbruggen with the ball just at the net, taps it down.
Just coming in to this set. Way to make her mark.
Ormandy. Going to be a fight at the net. Cudmore pushes it back.
And as the chase begins for La Cite, they're not able to bring it back. Cudmore credited with a nice block.
And we'll see a timeout from the Coyotes.
And we are back from timeout after the Coyotes called what is their third timeout this game so far. Lancers more than double their points, 14-7. Here's Routledge back up to the line.
Furnell, Ormandy, back to Furnell. Lancers get the block. Baker, Routledge, Byrne, taps it over. Maybe set in the back. Rio. Now Loyalist is turning. Baker off that block. Tokarski reaches, but it'll drop.
Absolutely amazing coordination for the Lancers there. Nice little rally. They were able to confuse Coyotes. Not able to keep that ball in. Here's Routledge once again. Great serve, straight to the middle. And it's out off the serve. Routledge, can she do it again?
It'll be over. Ormandy sets on the bottom there. Can't get a hit off. We'll have to just dump it over. Verbruggen against two. Makes a turn off the net. They're going to credit it. After saying there was a foretouch, I guess, against Verbruggen. I guess for the whole team, sorry. Verbruggen didn't touch that 4 times herself, but...
No, I'm not sure where the fourth touch was or who was responsible for it, but regardless, Coyotes will take a point. And they'll get their chance to serve.
Cudmore, the big swing gets sent straight back from Larche. Baker sets Cudmore for a second time around. Popped up from Rio. Tokarski gonna have to dump it. Goes to Byrne, who has to pause there. Reset. Cudmore just fists it over. And then down the middle, it's seen that from a mile away, but Laudry capitalizes.
Isabel Baker, unable to make it there in time. Larche waiting at the line. So we've got a slight delay.
Yeah, it looks like there's something going on with Janelle Laudry. They're trying to patch her up quick.
Jesse Dickhorn going to take, and Jesse Dickhorn and David Mann going to take this time to sneak in a little bit of a strategic talk with their teams here. It looks like Ryu is all good. Doesn't look like anything major. Seems to be laughing over there. Might just be a little bit of a cut or bruise. So she'll plan on heading back into this game, I think. Crowd not really sure whether they should be clapping or if it's very minor. It seems very minor. She seems fine now. The Lancers patiently awaiting.
Looks like there's going to be a different issue.
Not sure. She's gone back to the dressing rooms to go and change her jersey, it looks like.
Yeah, there might have been some. We'll just take a quick pause here and we'll be back once the game continues.
And Ryu is back now, wearing the number 2 jersey. Not sure what the premise was behind that decision.
I mean, if I was to guess, there might have been a cut on her hand, and you're not allowed to have any sort of blood on your jersey.
Oh, maybe. Essentially, it's the same number, just upside down and backwards.
Cudmore to Routledge. Goes to Verbruggen. Paws
He
it
just
over.
tips it over. Like it's nothing. Hand up in the air. And the point, unfortunately, was overturned. And Verbrugge not very happy about that one. Larche, once again. Baker, keep it in. Baker again. Cudmore. Larche. Ariu. Larche to bring it over the net. Baker. Here's Routledge. Cudmore. Block. It's tipped back up in the air and over, but Verbrugge right there to capitalize on it. And La Cite just chasing and chasing, but the Lancerdome is the one to claim that as the ball hits the rafters. We'll see possession over to the Lancers. Here comes Cudmore. Back to the line to serve. Cudmore with an ace this game. And I believe it was what was on their last serve. Larche. Over and out.
We'll see a timeout on the floor from the Coyotes.
Refreshed and ready as La Cite has used up all of their timeouts here for the duration of this set. We said 18-11 as Cudmore takes another serve. There's Ryu, and Ryu not able to bump that ball over the net. It's not picked up by anybody else, so Lancers will take another point. We said 19-11. That's Cudmore for the third serve in a row. And just barely tipping that net. Unfortunately, just a little bit more air on that ball. Possession change over. We're going to see Fornell over the line.
We'll see Chichi Ekpelabe come in for Cudmore.
Chichi came in this game earlier just to serve.
Fernell, Baker. Rutledge runs for it, sets up the other Baker, and finds the open court.
Fornell diving to try and pick that one up for her team. As Tokarski was just a tad bit forward. He's not able to get back in time. Valencia will pick up a point for that.
And Aurelio Ludi in for La Cite wearing the number 6 jersey.
Here's Byrne. Byrne straight into the net. Byrne, just not her day when it comes to the serves, unfortunately. Otherwise, played an outstanding game so far.
Laudry, heavy serve. Baker gets it, but Pallister sticks out that left hand trying to create any sort of height on it, and it'll just drop from where she hit it.
Laudry over to the line to serve. Coming in from the left side. Sorry, right side. Pallister not able to get that. A little bit annoyed as it was just off. We'll see Laudry serving here from the left side.
Baker on the diving effort where we saw Verbrugge thinking about running into the wall, but decides better of it. And Loyalist, as we've said, struggling a bit, keeping the commanding leads. La Cite's coming back. They take a timeout.
And we're back from the quick timeout that the Lancers took. Needed to break up some of this morale Coyotes might have had. The Lancers gave up quite a few points prior to this timeout. It's number 16, Laudry, back to the line. Up and over. There's Baker. Routledge. Verbruggen's on. And just slipping over the block of Pallister and Verbruggen. Not able to turn around in time to pick that one back up. It's going to be the 4th or 5th serve here in a row for Laudry.
Yeah, and that timeout there, Acorn was really hoping that they were going to come up with something because, again, if this game ends up getting tied, momentum's a heck of a thing as Baker is there, plays it again. Ekpelebe puts it back. Verbruggen just needs to get it over, does. We at the front of the net. Already sets up Koulibaly. Ekpelebe keeps it alive, as does Baker. Routledge gets it over. And now Ekpelebe. Baker needing some help. Routledge tries to put it in the very back, and it'll drop. Wow!
Wow! Ekpelebe.
Yeah, Ekpelebe throughout that entire sequence of events. Really,
that was a great rally for
insane.
Ekpelebe. We didn't get a chance to see her get a lot of play time yesterday. Just coming in to serve a few times in this game so far, but absolutely dominant on the court. Here's Amber Verbruggen again for the serve.
Aludi on that first touch, and Routledge is there trying to smack that down quickly.
That was incredible.
And Ludi comes out for Nell, who's been the mainstay and starter for La Cite.
Jasmine Lazard is on here as our offensive libero. Up and over. There's going to be a point for the Lancers. Again, the Lancers sit 23-17. Verbruggen, second chance here. Ryu with a bad bump. Goes wide instead of high.
It'll be set point for Loyalist. And Fernell can't handle it. Loyalist goes up 2-0.
Wow. Fernell, another bump attempt, but similar to Ryu's right before that brought them to set point. Fernell, her bump goes long into the high, and unfortunately, unfortunately for the Coyotes, the Lancers have taken 2 sets out of this game. Can they do it in 3? We'll see you back here in just a few minutes. And we are back for set number 3. The Lancers currently sit 2-0 up here against the Coyotes. Coming out from their break early and ready, eager to play. Coyotes are also ready. We're ready about 30 seconds earlier. So we're just going to take a little look to see our lineup here for the Lancers. The Lancers have been working on their strategies all season. And like I might have mentioned earlier, they found something great that has worked so well. And we're getting to see a lot of play from certain players we didn't see yesterday in a game where the Lancers have already been so dominant. Get to see the skills from all the players today. Here's Laudry once again.
Baker on that first touch to the other Baker. Crawford moves it back. Ormandy tries setting up the front for Sauvé, and it's just off.
Isabella Baker's turn. Isabella Baker, I've said it so many times this game already. Playing incredible.
Purnell, Ormandy. Now it's Crawford.
Sidney Crawford, with what looked to be like a big arc on that spike, was able to get it off Cite for a point there.
Ormandy sets up Ryu. And now it'll be Cudmore. And just can't connect properly with the ball.
Zoe Ormandy leading the team in statistics.
Ide sets up the Cudmore and the double blocks there. There is a tip for now. Ormandy up to the close side. It's Rio. And Ide lets it drop, and that's the right call.
Being right up there on that right or left side, sometimes it's hard to judge which way that ball's going to roll as it goes up into the air. Pallister, great serve.
And Laudry puts that into the block of Loyalist. Has to try to play it again, but nobody there to help.
Larche, bit of a chase there to try and keep that play alive. Does not go her way.
Popped up from Carl. And Loyalist ultimately gets it again.
Pallister, third attempt. I shouldn't say attempt, third serve in a row. They've been nothing but great to this point. There's another one of them, and straight up into the rafters from Camille Fournel. As I did mention earlier, La Cite not super pleased with the ceiling height of the Lancer Dome.
Pallister going for another laser shot, but squeaks it out.
It'll be interesting to see how much the play is going to slow down moving into the new gym.
Cudmore gets set, tries to push it to the back. Ormandy's there. An awkward reach from Ryu. Trying to play.
Yeah, the ceiling height definitely playing its role in the last 2 days. We've seen quite a few points lost to it. As I was saying, I was interested to see what it'll look like having larger ceilings.
Well, yeah, I got a chance to look at it yesterday, and it is squeaky clean, and there is an unbelievably large amount of room, and even for where we are on the broadcast, looks like things are going to be completely shaken up. So next season, I'm going to love having you guys out to games again. They are free to attend. Of course, we are broadcasting all the games here on YouTube, so be sure to subscribe to the channel.
Jamie Routledge, wonderful serve previously. Serve number 2. It's up by Fournel. And just waiting for it there. Zoe Ormandy is not able to connect with it. So it'll be Rutledge to return the line once again. The Lancers sit 9-2. Amazing.
Maybe just sent back over from Sauvé. Baker going to set for Bruggen and knows the block's there, but squeaks it over the block and too far at the same time.
O'Drain Carl comes out. Libero here for La Cite.
Cudmore puts the palm of her hand on it, stays in play, big block from Byrne. Sauvé, Vernell trying to arc it.
And Fernell, great angle, saw an opening, and she managed to get the ball to gracefully fall out of the control of the Lancers. Here's Sauvé once again. Just a bit wide, a little bit too much power on it. They'll give Cudmore their chance. Up and almost into the stands, saved by Fornell. Carl's gonna hit it over. Routledge with the tip. Byrne comes in right behind it to sweep it over. Wow! Routledge diving for that. Cudmore's gonna hit it over. And it's tipped away by Ryu.
Again, now it's taken a few sets to Loyalists really have a run where La Cite doesn't answer, and it feels like they're in that window right now. But Cudmore will give them a freebie.
The Lancers are just not going to take anything for granted. Every point matters, and you can see the morale.
Arche, Baker, Routledge goes to Cudmore. Too far. And it might have jinxed it. La Cite's now racked up 2 points in a row, looking for their third.
What happens, and you can see the Lancers aren't just going to let them take points easy. Routledge and Byrne working hard to keep that last play in the air previously when the Lancers had those points.
And that's going to be 3 in a row. We'll see if Dykhorn takes a timeout or not.
It'll be 3 in a row off the mistakes of the Lancers. Just got to stop putting so much power into it, but obviously hard to judge sometimes.
That's actually a great point, that it is more self-inflicted versus La Cite playing that much better. As the ace will come through. That'll be 4 points in a row. And, yep, we'll see that timeout from Jesse Dykhorn and the Loyalist Lancers.
And the Lancers return. See if they'll take coach's point here. As they might have just needed a break, get their coordination back on track. So we saw quite a few self-inflicted points. And there's a point. For the Lancers, Caitlin Byrne. Her chance to serve here. Incredible serve. Straight to the middle. Up. Caitlin Byrne again. Baker. Going for the kill. And the block tips it out. Byrne. Chance number 2.
It's over and good, and just a little bit of an undecisiveness between
I'm not sure what happened there.
Carl and Ormandy of who's going to take it, and so ultimately it'll just drop.
Caitlin Byrne. 3 incredible serves in a row. There's Routledge. Ryu diving for it. It's over. Byrne, Routledge to set. Verbruggen gracefully putting over Carell. There's Ryu again. The block comes off the Lancers. That'll be point of credit to La Cite. Great rally there. Byrne makes her way out, and we welcome back Taylor Baker. Here's Furnell. Furnell's going to send that straight into the net. And Osan Torowski was our libero at the initial start of this game. Has now made her way in as a middle.
Ormandy goes back to Larche and just falls short. Verbruggen. And straight off the ceiling, Carl.
See, a little bit annoyed with the power that she put behind that ball and sent it into the rafters. Verbruggen, 3rd serve. So he's at 17-9. Lancers, extensive lead.
Ormandy up to Laudry. It goes off of the net. La Cite with a second effort to be able to do something with it. It's Rio, and they get it to go.
Cudmore coming up a little bit late. Wasn't able to get the direction. Verbruggen makes her way out. Back in is Ides. And Pallister comes in for Routledge here.
Baker, Ides, Crawford. A little bit of a collision, but Laudry gets it up, and it'll just drop. There's been a couple times throughout this afternoon, or at least in this
The coordination on La Cite today is just not, I think, where they want it to be.
Well, I think earlier one of the big things we noticed was just the sets were a little bit off, and then it kind of tweaked into now where, again, just the...
and I don't think we're the only ones who are noticing it here. David Mann going to pull a timeout here as the Lancers have an 8-point lead. See you back here in 2 minutes. And we're back here from a timeout. Wow.
They counted as an ace, just an awkward first touch, doesn't get the right height on it. And again, maybe it's just Loyalist having some pretty strong serves. We're actually, to be fair, in that first set, we saw so many times where it was just single taps that went straight back to the other side off of these serves, and the power that both sides of the court were showing as Crawford, it's a roll off and almost a collision again on the side of Cite, but Rio gets it over, and some chaos ends up going in their favor.
Cite excited about that point as they take their chance to serve. Once again, it'll be number 8, Zoe Ormandy, to that line. Now, we're still seeing a lot of collisions between players on Cite. Makes me wonder what they decided over there on the timeout was the plan. So we see a lot of players rush the ball there for the set. It's Ides, tipped over by Pallister. Carl is going to put it up. There's Timoreski to bring it over. Cudmore, absolutely.
And Rio should just be getting credit there. Wearing that number 2 jersey for Cite on that initial swing of the left arm, keeping that rally running. Just that quick reaction time obviously went in Loyalist's favor, as the serve does not. But with a commanding lead, probably not going to be an issue. Pelabay, Ides to Cudmore, stays flat-footed, needing some help.
Over by Carl.
Ormandy sets for Nell and picks the back corner. It's wide open.
Ekpalibe and Lassard not able to decide whose job it is to go and grab that one, and kind of comes up over both their heads and lands right in that back left corner.
Cudmore off the block. And Loyalist looking to wrap this up with just a 4-point total needed to close out the sweep, which again in the first set they took a 25-20 and in the second 25-17.
8-point trail here. The Coyotes seem to have gained some of that coordination back as Furnell is a beautiful play saved there, but she goes up for the kill and it's into the net. The Lancers move up to 22. Yeah, Crawford takes her turn to serve, and I believe one of the first serves we're seeing from Crawford all game. A great attempt. It's going to be an ace for Crawford. And another ace for Crawford.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, and that one's going to head out, so Cite will take possession for what could be the last time in this game.
Camilla Sauvé, all the pressure in the world. Cudmore. Will be Ides. Sets up to the back in Crawford.
Just a bit long. But a great attempt. And they've got some wiggle room. 9-point lead here. That's when it's time to try things new if you've got the opportunity to make that kill.
Pelabay, it's going to be off the net. Ides is there. And that third touch needed to go over and burn. Just no way on that angle to really make that work.
Burn straight into the net, not able to touch it again herself. Not enough power to get it over to her teammate.
Pelabay. Cudmore. Sauvé. Cudmore sends it straight back off of that effort For now, and Loyalist able to keep it alive. What in the heck?
But they're going to get called on a violation here. Point's going to be overthrown.
I was about to say, I looked down for half of a second.
Looks like they could have kept that alive, but I didn't see 4 touches, so I'm not sure what the call was.
Well, Cite's absolute masters of keeping the game going when it looks doomed.
And it's hard for us to tell what the calls are. Yeah, and a self-inflicted wound as Cite has a long serve that's not going to go their way. 3-0 for your Loyalist Lancers women volleyball team. Don't go anywhere because we've got the men's game coming up, and it's going to be just as exciting as it was yesterday.
And Loyalist improves to 3-11 on the season. Cite drops to 1-13. For Dylan Ranrine and myself, Stephen Schill, thank you so much for tuning in.